Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My passion is paper crafting, and I am here to share with you episode 3 of my Stamp Set of the Month series, in which I am featuring the Really Great Day stamp set from Fawn. And this is episode 3, so this is my third card or third idea that I am sharing with you featuring the set, and it is a Woodland Carnival scene that we're sharing today. Now, normally I only do 3 episodes in a month because I do the last 3 Thursdays of the month. However, there are 5 Thursdays in the month of March, so I'm going to bring you a bonus episode next week. I am toying with the idea of doing the Christmas Carnival idea that I shared with you in last week's video. So let me know below if you would like to see the Christmas Carnival idea, or maybe you have an idea that I should do with this set. So that being the case, let me know what you think in the comments below, and stay tuned next Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for that episode. And for now, let's jump into making the Woodland Carnival Slimline card. Here we go. For this card, I am starting out with this Forest Through the Trees Slimline die set from Cat Scrappiness. It's going to die cut a frame and this tree and hill image separately, just like this. So I die cut it from white, but I'm only using one of those in white, and I also need a background. I'm going to create a sky using this Slimline cloud stencil from My Favorite Things. I don't have the one from Fawn, but it's very similar. I like this one because the clouds are like really small, and sometimes you want smaller clouds for a scene so they appear kind of farther away. So that's why I like this one right here. I'm using some tumbled glass distress oxide ink, and I will flip this over and use the other edge, and then I'll have 2 rows of clouds that aren't matching, which is important. And then for the third side, I don't want it to match either. So what I'm going to do is clean this off and flip it over and use the first side that I used on the first row of clouds. And then I have 3 different rows, and I love that. The other thing I like to do is when I'm all done on that last row that's really stark white, I just kind of clean my dauber off right there so it's not so stark white. I took the same ink pad, smooshed it onto this window sheet, spritzed it with water, and I'm using a scraggly paintbrush to drag the ink off the side and make splatter on my background. I love splatter, so I'll be splattering a lot in the making of this card. Okay, so next I am creating the grassy hill, and I'm just going to do some rustic wilderness and then spritz that with water, and then I have the same rustic wilderness in the oxide spray, but I don't have to water this down. It's full strength, full color, splattering that right over the top, and it's a lot darker. It's going to show up a little bit more, and I love that. All right, for the trees, I'm using the Fawn wood grain paper and die cutting this so that the trees actually have wood grain on it. Love that so much. So now all we need to do, now that the green hill is dry, is cut away the trees, and we can paper piece this right over the top of this hill. But I wanted to splatter it first, so I have the new Lost Shadow. I didn't want to do white because it could look snowy, but I wanted it to just have a little splatter on it. So I always put more than I think I need because it's going to dry back lighter. And then I glued on my grassy hill, and we're ready to put the frame on. I also use that wood grain frame because, you know, I'm creating a woodland scene here, a woodland carnival. So I thought the wood frame was perfect, and then we'll add down the hill and the trees. Very, very cool. Okay, this we're just going to set aside, and now we need to work on the stamped images that are going to create the scene. So along with my new Really Great set, that is the stamp set of the month, I'm also using the Coaster Critters and the Reverse Coaster Critters set. I'm going to use the nuts from my squirrel set, Let's Go Nuts, and the little ants from the Mice Picnic set. I'm pulling out all the things, and these 2 mushrooms from the Gnome set. So let's stamp all those things out, and then you can see all the images I'm going to use here. Well, I don't end up using the ones that aren't colored. But I colored these all up using these markers. Very, very simple coloring, but it was a lot. So I didn't want to show all of the coloring, but you can see the markers there. You've already seen me color the Ferris wheel. You've already seen me color the coaster. So I'm going to now stamp some images themselves. So I stamped nuts right on that little booth, and then I die cut out all the things with the coordinating dies except this star right here from the Wheelie Great set. There's no die for it. I think you're supposed to just stamp it right on the coaster, so I fussy cut it. Ugh, but it's fine. It's fine. And now I'm going to add the critters to the coaster. So if you use the critters in the Wheelie Great set, you don't have to use that extra little part of the coaster, but if you use the any of the tiny friends, you want to use that other part of the Ferris wheel seat to go over the bottom of the person. Does that make sense? I'll probably show you in next week's bonus video what I'm talking about. So I also added the acorns to my little stand, and now I'm going to glue my 3 biggest things down in the background of the scene. So the Ferris wheel and now the coaster with the little cars glued on, and you can see that second piece of the coaster just kind of fits there behind it. So it looks like a 3-dimensional kind of. And then the little nut stand. The nut stand. I love it. Now all the critters are going to be popped up. Almost all of them are holding something, a little flag, cotton candy, a balloon, some tickets. This guy has got a bunch of tickets. He's running to get his friends to say, let's go on the roller coaster. And then the bunnies are sharing a ticket to go get some nuts. The bear is watching Baby Bear on the Ferris wheel for the first time. It's so much fun. And this card totally reminds me of Teddy Bear Picnic. Now, I used to be a preschool teacher, and so these are the things I think of. Have you heard that song, The Teddy Bear's Picnic? If you haven't, you totally should find that and listen to it. All right, so I added one of the mushrooms in. I first didn't think I had room, but then I found a little spot for it, so I tucked it in. Now it's time for the sentiment that goes on the outside of the card. Life is full of ups and downs. This is the Life is Full of Ups and Downs Woodland Carnival. I'm going to color this out so it looks like a wood sign. It does look crazy right here. It looks, like garbage, but it's not. You just got to keep going. Just creating kind of a wood grain type look with dots and dashes, and then I'm coloring it in. Now these 3 browns that I used are the same 3 browns I used in my card, so it's going to totally match, and I'm just going to go over it a couple times, filling it in, but not afraid to leave a couple really light or white spots, and I think it looks really cool, like a wooden sign. So I'm going to cut this out with scissors. I don't know why this doesn't bother me to cut out, but cutting out that tiny star was not as much fun. This is just straight lines, pretty easy. It didn't stress me out at all. Plus, I love how the coloring turned out. So the next thing I want to do to make this look even more like a wooden sign is add some little nails. So I just have a black fine liner pen, and I'm adding dots to each corner. I put a little double stick tape on the back and glue, which is what I did to also hold my front panel down to my Slimline card base because it was a little warped from all the splattering. And now I'm adding an acorn. There is a single acorn in that squirrel stamp set, oh nuts, and I'm adding that to the top of the little booth so it looks even more like the stand where you go and buy your snacks of nuts. Okay, I wanted to stamp the inside of the card with the second sentiment, so I just taped it down, and then the inside says, let's roll with it together. And I have an extra mushroom, so I'm going to stick that on the inside. And then I thought some hearts would be really fun. So I'm going to stamp the heart from the Wheelie Great set 3 times, and that's going to finish off my card. Just a little something on the inside. Plenty of room to write or put a gift card. I think this makes a really good best friend card or a friend for your partner or spouse. I love it. I love putting all the little details, and the details to me in this card are the little ants and the mushroom and the acorn on top. Those are the things that I think bring a card to life, those little extra special touches. So I thank you so much for stopping by. If you missed episode 1 or episode 2 featuring the Wheelie Great set, I have them linked for you in the description box below, and there's one more Thursday in this month, so I will be back next week with a bonus stamp set of the month video for you. So stay tuned. Thursday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, right here on my channel. Feel free to subscribe. It would make me smile. And I'll chat with you in the comments below. Happy stamping. Bye.